Hello, Maddie here. Thank you for coming back for another week, another book here on my channel. I feel like I'm doing an accidental little switcheroo on y'all, and I'm really, really sorry. It was not on purpose. It just kind of accidentally happened. Last week, we talked about, or 2 weeks ago, we talked about Made for Each Other by Lynn Painter. And we talked about how this channel is about emotionally safe reads and the Maddie guarantee. This week is not those things. Every once in a while, I like to talk about books that very much don't follow the typical Maddie rules. Not necessarily because I recommend them. One, to show that I do read other books, but also to kind of like, not even necessarily to warn y'all off them, but to be like, hard books can be worth reading if you're ready for them and if they're things that will add to your life. So this week we are talking about the 2 Sarah Dessen books that I would not say are good summer reads, because the rest of her books I would say are good summer reads. As we are getting into the summer months, it is June, I believe, when this video will come out, maybe July. She is a great summer author. I would really recommend the rest of her books for summer reads. All of her books have like a singular difficult topic. They're not like so big that it's like, this is now like a super big trigger, but it's like they're there, but like all books have to have a thing. But these 2 books are not like, they're there somewhere in the background. It's like, no, they emotionally wrecked me in really big, huge ways. So we need to talk about it. And unlike my last couple of videos, I have physical copies of these books. Why? I almost don't even know, but I do. So hang on one second. Our 2 books are Dreamland and Once and For All. So Dreamland came out first. I read this book in, I think, high school, maybe college. When did this book come out? 2000. Wow. So Dreamland came out in 2000. Let's read the back real quick. Wake up, Caitlin. Ever since she started going out with Rogerson Biscoe, Caitlin seems to have fallen into a semi-conscious dreamland where nothing is quite real. Rogerson is different from anyone Caitlin has ever known. He's magnetic. He's compelling. He's dangerous. Being with him makes Caitlin forget about everything else. Her missing sister, her withdrawn mother, her lackluster life. But what happens when being with Rogerson becomes a larger problem than being without him? Okay. That does not prepare you. Okay. This, I'm telling y'all right now, probably also put it in the heading. This is a spoiler-full video. I'm telling y'all everything that's going to be in these books because I need y'all to know why these books are going to emotionally wreck you. Because they aren't necessarily apparent, especially in the second book. They are not obvious why they're going to wreck you. That one, you could maybe surmise it if it's like, okay, Maddie's saying this book is going to emotionally wreck me. From that synopsis, I could maybe figure it out. Not so with the second one. But I'm telling y'all right now, I'm going to tell you exactly why it's going to wreck you. And maybe like for your own emotional development, you'd want to read it anyways. Because I'm not saying these are bad books. I'm just saying they're really hard to read and you need to go into them with eyes wide open. It's hard for them to help you emotionally when all they do is wreck you. And that's what they did to me. So this book isn't about an abusive relationship. Straight up. It goes through the whole, he abuses me and then he dotes on me, gets me flowers and he's so kind to me the next day and he's just so sweet and kind and then he abuses me. And then he's so nice and he's so sweet and he's so kind and then he abuses me. Like it literally does a whole thing. And the literal ending of it is her like going into like a mental hospital and her literally taping a picture of herself back together. I remember literally weeping at my parents' house on the fireplace during winter vacation. And a family friend of ours was asleep on the couch and I was trying not to wake them up because they were asleep on the couch. And I was weeping on the fireplace during winter vacation at my parents' house. I was not prepared because I was like, Sarah Dessen, I love her. She's great. I have read so many of her books. I'm excited to read another one. This is fantastic. Like, I don't necessarily feel like lied to, but I was not prepared. And it's one of those things where it's like hard topics should be read about. They should be written about. They should be discussed 100%. But we should be prepared for them and we should not be blindsided by them because some of us can handle that and some of us can't. And for those of us that can't, we need to go into these books aware of that that's what we're getting ourselves into. But this book is one of the first books that little Maddie read that she was not prepared for, could not handle. And I remember suggesting Sarah Dessen to people and saying, but don't read Dreamland. I love Sarah Dessen. Don't read Dreamland, because she's an amazing author. And like I said, I think she's a great summer read. I would totally recommend her for a summer read. Don't read Dreamland for a summer read. Don't do it. You can read Dreamland. Like I said, if you are looking for a discussion on an abusive relationship, it's probably a good book for that. But that's probably not a good beach read. So that's book 1, Emotionally Wrecked Me. This book, I would say I'm more angry at because by strict definition, it technically has the Maddie guarantee. Because the couple, Ambrose and Louna, that it discusses on the back of the book, are both alive and together by the end of the book. By that definition, this book follows the Maddie guarantee. And that makes me angry because I would in no way whatsoever call this book an emotionally safe read. I literally want to cry thinking about it because the other character in this book is fictional. And I can still tell you his name because there is a third character in this book and he is fictional because it's not abuse. So this book, if I'm remembering correctly, takes place after high school. I think they are college aged, but I don't think she's in college. I think she's like taking a gap year or something, working for her family's company. I don't totally remember. It's been a minute since I've read it. I read it when I was dating Evan. So almost a decade ago. He and I have known each other. It was 9 years this last April. And I read it. So it was the fall he and I met. That is how scarred we are by this book. It was like August of 2017 when I read this book. Again, this is spoiler full, so we're going to tell you exactly what happens. This girl, I think it's at her mom's wedding, an aunt's wedding. Somebody's getting married. She meets this boy. They have a magical night together. They sleep together. It's stupid. Whatever. They end up dating long distance. They talk together all the time. It's great. It's whatever. This is not to be not clickbaity, or annoyingly engagement thing. I want you to pause for 2 seconds and just guess, comment just your guess why I'm pissed off at this book. Why it emotionally wrecked me. What do you think possibly happened that made me so enraged? Genuinely. Because I don't think you can guess it. I genuinely don't think you can guess it. I don't. Because I was so, it came so far out of left field. It didn't even come from left field. It, came from the bleachers. It, came from the stands from, a whole other field. Because it was so far away and, out of the realm of possibility that, I couldn't even pretend to be prepared for it. Because it was so far away. Okay, so they're dating long distance. Boy says, hey, my coach wants to meet with me this morning. And now I know where you're guessing. You're guessing a sexual abuse, aren't you? Not even kind of. We just talked about abuse. That's not what this is. Got to meet with my coach this morning. And he stops responding. And then she starts hearing, hey, there is a school shooting at this school in this other state, whatever. And her mind goes, that's where my boyfriend is. Oh, the school shooting started in the gymnasium. My boyfriend was meeting with his coach this morning. He's not answering my text messages. He's not answering my phone calls. He's not responding. I can't get a hold of anybody. I can't get a hold of him. They're not putting out who the victims are, but it's been confirmed that there was a shooting at this school, this day, this morning, in this place. Obviously, eventually she finds out that her long-distance boyfriend, that she literally got 1 day with, their entire relationship, died. And to, literally, almost physically pour salt in the wound, she gets so sick, she cannot go to the funeral. She can't fly to the funeral because she is so physically ill. So she, never gets closure. Fast forward to the future, and this guy is trying to get closer, and he has his own baggage, but it's mostly he's, a bad boy who, won't follow the rules. And you're like, oh, okay, you don't have real problems. So they're like, you're fine. He's trying to break down her walls, and she's like, I can't care for another human being. And he can't figure that out because she's not actually verbalizing that, but she's just so blasé. And he's like, everyone loves me because I'm a player and whatever. And she's so indifferent, and he can't figure it out. But no one will tell him that her first and only boyfriend the like love of her life, whatever. Not love of her life, but the person that she loved, the only person she's ever loved, was literally killed in a school shooting. Like, are you kidding me? I read this book 9 years ago. Such a hot topic then, and it's such a hot topic now. And I'm like, I hate that a book about abuse is still so relevant. That it was relevant when I read it in high school. That it was relevant when it was written in 2000. That it's relevant today. I hate that a book that I read about school shootings was relevant when it was written. It was written in 2017. It was written in 2017 when I read it in 2017. That is relevant now when I'm talking about it in 2026. I hate that. And that's what makes it so emotionally wrecking, because this isn't a topic that's now obscure. You know, we're not talking about a thing that doesn't exist anymore, that we're like, oh, that's not an issue anymore. I'm trying to think about like what's a thing that's not an issue anymore. Well, even things that have like mostly become obsolete is like seatbelt deaths, because we wear seatbelts now, but like people didn't used to. So it's like, yeah, that's now mostly not a thing, even though that's not like really triggering. But it's like, yes, that is now a thing that has mostly gone away because we figured out the issue and we fixed it. These are things that are issues, that are still issues, that will likely continue to still be issues for longer than any of us would like. And that's why they're so freaking heartbreaking and triggering and difficult to read. And why, one, I do think we need to read these books. I don't think we shouldn't not read these books. Two, you need to know what you're reading. You should not go into these books blind. I remember Evan playing video games, and I remember reading this book on his bed and weeping. Except I remember the character's name. I'm literally not going to say it out loud because it's the name of a relative of mine. That extra sucks. Like, it's just stuck with me ever since. I've had moments, and I really, really want to reread this book because, like I said, this topic is still relevant, and this book, it's not a bad book. It's a really good book. This is a really good author. She writes things really well, but it's really, really hard. It's really, 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 really hard. If you can handle it, I would really encourage you to read these books. If you can handle it, if they're topics you would like to read in a fictional setting, I would encourage you to read them, but only if you can handle them. Don't put yourself in a bad situation. If you cannot handle these, if these are going to trigger you and put you into a bad mindset, if they're going to make you spiral, please, 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 please do not read them. I have so many recommendations of emotionally safe reads, of good books that are going to make you happy and safe. Please go read one of those many, many, many books. Do not read these books. Don't do that to yourself. There are too many good books out there. Don't read books that are going to put you in a bad place. Because one of my big things with honestly all content, like with books, movies, TV shows, I'm like, why would I read things that don't have happy endings? Like the couples that, like, if I have a couple that I'm like, I want them to be together, why would I watch things where they don't end up together? I'm watching something fictional. There are already people in real life that don't end up together because of life circumstances. Why would I watch people not end up together in fake circumstances when it's all fake? It's all fake. They're fake people in a fake world with fake circumstances. They should end up together. I'm not going to read something or watch something where the fake people don't end up together in the fake world. So that's why I'm so particular about what I like read, watch, whatever, because I'm like, I get to decide. I get to decide what I consume, and I want my happily ever after. I want my fairy tale ending. Gosh darn it. I had a whole conversation with a friend recently about this, about why I read what I read and like why I pick the things that I pick. The unpopular opinion, I don't like La La Land. I understand why people love it. I do. I understand why it's well loved. My whole beef with La La Land is the whole movie sets them up of basically why they shouldn't end up together, of like everything working against them. They overcome everything and then they don't end up together. It's like, no, they overcame everything. So they should have ended up together. But because it was like, no, they shouldn't end up together because I say so. They basically did everything to show that they should end up together. They put in the work. They put in the effort to make the relationship work. So I just left pissed. Because I was like, you just did it because you decided you didn't want them to end up together? So that movie pissed me off. Anyways, these books are terrible and amazing in their own right. Read them at your own risk. Only if you can handle it. Sarah Dessen is a great beach read, except for these two books. My favorite of hers is Just Listen. I've done a blog and a video on that. I really recommend it. I also really like The Truth About Forever. A third one that I'm forgetting. This Lullaby is what I'm thinking of. But she also has Just Listen, Truth About Forever, Along for the Ride, This Lullaby, Lock and Key, What Happened to Goodbye, Saint Anything. She has a lot of very good books. These two are really rough. Proceed with caution. That's all I really have to say. Like, comment, and subscribe. We'll be back with our regular programming next week. With all of that, hope you have a great rest of your day. Hope you have a great night, great week, great weekend, great month, great year. Hope you have all the greats because you are truly worthy and deserving of them. So until next time, Satya. Bye.